Two more wins. Two more wins. And the Indiana Fever is headed to the WNBA Finals. Let that sink in for a second. The Indiana Fever only need to win 2 more games, and they will be in the WNBA Finals. And they stole the first of 3 today against the Las Vegas Aces, beating them 89-73. A very convincing...
Stop the presses. The Indiana Fever just marched into Vegas and punched the Aces in the mouth. 89-73. This wasn't a squeak or a lucky break. It was dominance on the road. Tonight, the underdog didn't inch forward. They tore the map up. Let's talk about how the Fever flipped the playoff script. Las Vegas came in as a dynasty. Aya Wilson stacked stars, expectations sky high. Indiana, a team many wrote off, injuries, questions, and 2 young labels. But playoff basketball humbles everyone. This one means more than one box score. It shifts momentum, belief, and the entire series outlook. At
the Aces in Las Vegas, on their home court, with their home referees, the Indiana Fever pulled off this victory. And I feel like I'm one of the only people, or at least aside from the mainstream media, who truly thinks that the Indiana Fever can pull this off. Do you remember a couple days ago on ESPN, they were saying like the chances that the teams had to make it to the finals or to win a championship, and it was 5 teams: Lynx, the Aces, Mercury, the Liberty, and the Indiana Fever. And they had the Indiana Fever as the lowest chances of winning the W.
Right from tip, Indiana refused to be starstruck. They played with an edge, physical, hungry, relentless on hustle plays. The Aces looked surprised by the intensity. Fever's energy was immediate, crashing boards, contesting every drive, and pushing transition whenever they could.
And Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without Ari McDonald, without Sid Colson, without Chloe Bibby, without Damiris Dantas, who was out this entire season on concussion protocol.
Kelsey Mitchell put the league on notice. A playoff career night with 34 points. Threes? Check. Pull-ups? Check. Free throws? Check. Mitchell didn't just score. She controlled the game's tempo and kept Indiana's offense humming even when the Aces tried to rally.
This is mad. What a game. What a game. And you know what? Like, if someone wants to say the Indiana Fever are Kelsey Mitchell's team, you know what? She's that fucking good. I don't really care. But Kelsey Mitchell is Allen Iverson. The Indiana Fever are the 0-1 Sixers. They are the 0-1 Sixers. Like, that is what it is. This is how you can build a winning team around Kelsey Mitchell. This is how you do it.
Odyssey Sims delivered exactly what the Fever needed. Calm leadership, smart decisions, and timely buckets. 17 points while keeping turnovers low. Her pick-and-roll reads and late-clock composure made life easier for Mitchell and opened lanes for Boston inside. Boston didn't need a 30-point night to swing the game. Her physicality on the glass, rim protection, and defensive IQ reshaped possessions. Even in a game where her scoring was limited, her presence made the Aces uncomfortable, and that's playoff-level value.
As she goes off, Odyssey Sims has herself a day. Natasha Howard shows up to the party, and A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces lose Game 1 on their home.
Natasha Howard, Lexie Hull, Bree Turner. These are the pieces that turned a great outing into a shellacking. Howard's boards and toughness, Hull's spacing and plus-minus, Turner's interior defense, they all added layers. This is what depth looks like in the postseason.
This was a spectacular, dominant performance. Held them to 73 points. Scored 89 ourselves. This was a big-time performance. Bree Turner, you came off the bench, 3 or 4, 6 points. Hellacious defense. Hellacious defense. Stephanie White. That is how you have the team ready to come out and guard defensively. That is how you have the team come out with intensity, focus. That is what I'm talking about.
Indiana's blueprint was clear. Make Aya work, force contested shots, and punish from the perimeter. They dared Vegas to beat them without easy looks. Coach Stephanie White's rotations were perfect. She matched personnel, rotated the press at the right times, and let Mitchell ride her hot hand.
I'm just so proud of with this group is it doesn't matter who's on the floor, it doesn't matter who's on our roster. They give each other the freedom to be themselves. They empower one another to be themselves and to be the best version of themselves. And every time we've had a change, every time we've brought someone in, every time we've had rotational changes, they're for each other. They live the we over the me. And when you have that, it just gives you.
Remember what Aliyah Wilson said when the Aces closed their first-round series and started thinking about Indiana? On camera, she admitted she hadn't even watched the Fever's upset of Atlanta, and then summed up the Aces' approach like this. Same mindset. It's really never about the other team. It's always going to be about us. We gotta play Aces basketball, and we'll see what the game gives us. That was the public tone, confident, controlled, almost casual. Coach Becky Hammon echoed that swagger too. They haven't seen the real Aces yet, she warned, basically telegraphing the same message. Vegas thought the series would be theirs on their terms. Fast forward to September 21st. The script flipped. Indiana didn't just make it competitive. They crushed the Aces 89-73, with Kelsey Mitchell erupting for a playoff career 34 points and Indiana dictating the game from start to finish. Aliyah? She had a night to forget. 6-4, 22 from the floor, 16 points, 13 rebounds. An unusually cold outing for a four-time MVP. The optics were brutal. A day that included MVP honors turned into one where Wilson could not get comfortable against Indiana's physical defense. So let's be blunt. Talk is cheap in playoff basketball. When you tell the world you're going to show up as the benchmark, and then your team gets handled on your home floor, the words don't age well. Did Wilson's pregame posture reflect confidence or complacency? The Fever forced her into tough shots, and the result was a statement loss that made those earlier lines look, at best, premature. This is a reminder to every superstar. Respect the opponent, or the opponent will make you pay loudly. Watching Becky Hammon pace the sideline told a story. The game plan wasn't sticking. She tried adjustments, but the Aces' offense kept stalling. You could see the exasperation. Substitutions, calls to the refs, heat checks. Vegas just never found the rhythm they needed.
And it looked like Becky Hammon is not happy with A'ja Wilson for her lack of performance in this first game.
Ability to handle a game where A'ja is not able to dominate. Where would you guys rank your level of concern surrounding that, and how do you guys kind of fix that?
It's not necessarily my level of concern. I know we're capable, but not when we play like that. You know, God forbid A'ja doesn't drop 40 for us. But we had 12 assists tonight in 40 minutes, 12, and 12 turnovers. But you can start on the defensive end. I mean, clearly we had no answer for Mitchell. Couldn't even attempt to slow her down a little bit.
Midway through the third quarter, Indiana took off. An 11-0 run blew the game open. Defense turned into transition points, and the scoreboard leapt. The Fever kept piling on. Every stop became a fast break chance. Every turnover turned into pressure relief. By the fourth, the lead wasn't just safe. It was humiliating for the Aces.
Because A'ja Wilson was presented the MVP today. Oh, they brought out all the bells and whistles for A'ja Wilson, bro. And I'm here to tell you, she played horribly bad. Now, we know that Kelsey Mitchell was nominated as the 5th player to be voted for to win the MVP. Now, we know, as of recently, Kelsey Mitchell.
This collapse wasn't accidental. Vegas missed layups, missed rotations, and let Mitchell cook. When your star is jacking inefficiently and your role players can't step in, you get gashed. Indiana's defense forced bad shots. Wilson 6, 4-22, and the Fever converted that collapse into a 16-point road win. Tactical execution plus hot shooting equals blowout.
89-73, the Indiana Fever were in control of this game from start to finish. There was a small little patch there in the third quarter. We started saying, are the Aces gonna come back? But Kelsey Mitchell and Odyssey Sims said, no, they're not going.
Look beyond the final score. The Fever stole game 1 in the Aces' house. That flips the series narrative. The Aces can no longer assume home comfort will carry them. Indiana proved they can win anywhere. If the Fever keep forcing contested looks on Wilson and riding Mitchell's scoring nights, this series is far from a foregone conclusion.
got one. Woo! Sounds in the chat.
That's one.
For Indiana, belief, momentum, and proof that their depth matters. For Vegas, alarm bells. Becky Hammon needs answers, rotations, matchups, and how to get Wilson clean touches. This result will force adjustments, and the next game could be a turning point for the whole postseason. Bottom line, the Fever did not come to play the victim. They came to take what they wanted. An 89-73 road victory over the defending champs is a statement. Kelsey Mitchell announced herself, the role players rose up, and the aces were exposed. 2 wins away from the finals? Now that possibility feels real. Drop a comment. Can Indiana finish the job? Smash like, subscribe, and I'll break down Game 2 after it happens.